So this is my frame attachment for my Hulk sled. One of the hardest parts to this was squaring it up. It's sitting currently on 2x4 square tubing so that I could get everything at the right height. I was only able to weld the inside portions because as I started to weld the front or the back, it would shift out of position on me. It would pull one way or the other. And the only way to straighten it out was to measure from the front corner to the opposite corner to make sure that they were equal in length. Now here it is underneath the sled, the Hulk sled. I was lining it up to get it in position, and then I was sliding the 3-inch trailer hitch receiver length underneath it, and I ran pins through it to hold it in place so that I could start to weld it. And then what I did is I slipped about a quarter of the receiver hitch back so that I could have something to weld to. Now here's one of the mistakes I made. The pins got put in the wrong way. So once I welded the front and welded this back corner, I had to flip it over and I had to get those pins out. The only way to get the pins out was to cut those pins off with an 8-inch cutting wheel, which was not fun. But don't worry, I re-welded the pins back together and they're as good as new. You'd never even know that I had a major lapse in decision making. But it was 110 degrees outside today, so I probably wasn't at my my brightest. Here's the back end of it. Here it is flipped over. There's the pins put back together. Now what I had to do was weld the back side of this. And what I did is I tacked it all up, and then I welded from the front to the back. And then I took the grinder and grinded down my welds. I wanted to make sure that this isn't going to move anywhere, and this was before lunch, so this was something I wanted to get done. I wanted to have this in position before lunch, and I wanted to be able to flip it back over and finish the frame. Now here's the upright posts for the car deadlift frame. They were 18 inches, and I cut 3 inches off of each one to make them at a height of 15 inches. Then I put 3 adjustment pieces inside, going from 18 inches to 21 inches to 24 inches, depending on the height of the deadlift that you wanted. There's a 6x6 square plate up underneath that I welded to, and then I welded the frame to the post. I squared it up, I centered it up, and then I welded it. This was after lunch. Storm was coming in, so I was getting in a hurry, and it was getting hot, so my welds looked like crap. Probably the worst part of the day of welding. I was in a hurry to get out of there, and I was just rushing it. But the welds are strong. They just need to be grinded down and cleaned up. This is 1x3 flat bar. Ricardo put it in a vise. He put the pipe around it. He torched it. He got it hot. And he bent it. He did that to help me so that I could get out of there, because I was about 9 hours deep at this point and I was just exhausted. So here it is, all bolted up, all attached, all welded up. This is the frame for the car deadlift. That bar is a 1-inch thick bar, which is the equivalent to a deadlift bar, 28 millimeters. And then there is the flat bar wrapped around it, and then I welded the flat bar to the attachment inside. So we're going to give this a shot next weekend and see what happens.